Grab a cup, buckle up. You know what time it is.
Whether you're carrying the weight of everyone's expectations or slowly losing yourself trying to keep everyone happy, you found the right place. Welcome into Coffee with Dubs.
You know, I think one of the hardest things people quietly experience is realizing that constantly trying to make everybody else comfortable slowly disconnects you from yourself. Because people pleasing doesn't usually come from a place of weakness. It comes from a place of care. You want people to feel heard. You want to avoid conflict. You want to help. You want to be understanding. You want to keep the peace. And you want people around you to feel okay. And honestly, those are not bad qualities. But over time, if you're not careful, you can become so focused on managing everybody else's emotions that you stop paying attention to your own. That's dangerous because eventually you wake up emotionally exhausted and realize you spent so much energy trying to avoid disappointing others, you quietly disappointed yourself in the process. And I think a lot of people are carrying that weight around right now. Smiling externally, functioning, still showing up, still helping, still giving pieces of themselves every day. Meanwhile, they feel drained, flat, disconnected, like their emotional battery never fully recharges anymore. And what makes it worse is that negative feedback sticks with human beings differently than positive feedback does. You can receive 10 supportive comments and 1 harsh criticism, and somehow the criticism becomes the only thing that remains in your brain. And that's human psychology, because the brain naturally scans for threats more aggressively than it scans for comfort. It wants to protect you from rejection, embarrassment, conflict, failure. So even when the good things are happening around you, one painful interaction can suddenly dominate your emotional landscape if you don't consciously regulate it. And honestly, that becomes exhausting for people who are so deeply in the care world, because caring for people tends to internalize everything. They replay conversations, rethink decisions, question their tone, wonder if they upset someone, wonder if they've explained themselves too much, wonder if they're becoming too much for the people around them. The mental spiral wears people down over time, especially when they're already trying hard. I think one of the saddest parts about people pleasing is that you eventually realize no matter how carefully you manage yourself, some people will still misunderstand you anyway. And that's difficult to accept. Because emotionally, a lot of people believe if I just explain myself better, if I try harder, if I stay softer, if I'm useful enough, maybe everybody will finally understand my intentions correctly. But life doesn't really work that way. You can be kind and still be criticized. You can be genuine and still be misunderstood. You can give your absolute best effort and still disappoint someone. That does not automatically mean you failed. It means that you're human. And honestly, I think emotional maturity begins with when you stop measuring your worth entirely through external approval. Not because feedback never matters, not because we should become arrogant or emotionally closed off, but because constantly outsourcing your self-worth to other people's reactions becomes emotionally unstable, especially in the modern world. Everybody has opinions now. Everybody reacts instantly. Everybody projects their stress publicly, and everybody is entitled to commentary. If you absorb it all equally, you're emotionally going to drown. And that's why boundaries matter so much internally too. Not just boundaries with people, but boundaries with criticism, negativity, and how much access strangers, coworkers, social media, and outside opinions actually get to affect your nervous system. Because eventually you have to ask yourself, am I building a life or am I spending my entire existence trying to avoid disapproval? That question changes people. And really, I think rebuilding your ability to smile sometimes starts with giving yourself permission to stop carrying every emotional burden that has never really been yours to hold in the first place. Not every criticism deserves permanent residency in your mind. Not every disappointed person means you're failing. And not every misunderstanding needs to come into a full identity crisis. Sometimes people are projecting their own pain. Sometimes expectations are unrealistic, and sometimes you're simply exhausted emotionally and overloaded from trying to keep too many plates spinning all at once. It's a real feeling, and maybe someone else needed to hear that reminder today too. You're allowed to care deeply without sacrificing yourself completely. You're allowed to help people without emotionally collapsing under the pressure of pleasing everybody, and you're allowed to rest your nervous system instead of constantly performing emotional labor for the world around you. Because your value does not disappear every time somebody misunderstands you. Your ability to smile again, that may be the beginning of the moment you stop demanding universal approval for everything and allow yourself some peace. So let's find some peace together tomorrow on Coffee with Dubs. I'll see you then.